How you doing? This is John, and welcome to John's Long Box. Uh, I just want to say that there was no video yesterday because I don't know if it's my phone or YouTube, but it took over 8 hours to upload that video. I don't know what's going on. So I kind of I'm being dumb. I've been recording videos later and later in the evening after I get home from work. Usually I record them after dinner. So this one just took for hours. It usually takes like 20 minutes or so. So I guess I gotta. I keep telling myself I gotta record a whole bunch of videos and upload them and schedule them and stuff like that. So like I did that at the beginning, but then I felt like there was no room for like improvising if somebody asked for something or whatever. But it's not like I'm getting a million requests anyway. So I guess I gotta go back to recording like a week's worth at once. So here we have the Young All Stars. This is issue number 1. This is June 1987. This is the new format. And what this was this was a response to the Crisis on Infinite Earths with DC Comics. The Crisis on Infinite Earths merged Earth 1 and Earth 2. This is just so geeky. Saying it out loud, I'm realizing how goofy it sounds. But Earth 2 was the original DC universe. So it was the original Superman from 1938, the original Batman, I think, from 1939, the original Wonder Woman from, 1940, 41. I'm sure those years are maybe off. And after the Crisis on Infinite Earth, Earth 1 and Earth 2 got merged. Earth 2 started with the, Barry Allen Flash and the Hal Jordan Green Lantern and everything like that. So, I don't know why. Earth 2 was the original Earth. Earth 1 was the newer one. So when they got merged, there could only be one copy of Superman. There could only be one Batman. There could only be one Wonder Woman. And they went with the current versions. So who were these people that were in the Justice Society? Who were these people that were introduced in 1939 and 40s? Well, there was problems. The Crisis on Infinite Earth created problems. And I always said that they did it half-assed. They should have just restarted all of DC, wiped out all past continuity, and started all over again. But they tried to pick and choose what they wanted, and it made it crazy. And at the same time, we're watching all these Marvel movies now that are introducing parallel worlds, and it's not bothering people. So they shouldn't have. So I always say that the Crisis on Infinite Earth, it succeeded in its mission of selling comic books, making money. It failed in its mission in streamlining the DC universe because it just made it super complicated. And one of the things was Infinity Incorporated was just destroyed by the Crisis. They never recovered. And this comic was a response to the Crisis on Infinite Earths. So what happened? Well, Alex, I'll show you when I get into the comics. But this whole comic was created to explain the Golden Age Wonder Woman, the Golden Age Superman, and the Golden Age Batman, as if they needed it. But I guess they needed it. Go figure. So what we have here is, all right. Well, let's just look at the cover. So that's the original Hawkman. I with that wonderfully hokey mask. I just think it's so wonderfully hokey. This is the original, or the only, the original Dr. Fate, because there is another version of Dr. Fate. And this is the half mask. He had a full mask that would cover his whole face, and it was, this. I just love that concept that, like, the sorcerer's abilities of Nabu, Lord of Order, would just downloaded directly into his brain, and it eventually became so overwhelming that he created this half mask, and the half mask gave him superpowers like he was like Superman, the standard array. So it wasn't as overwhelming, but he wasn't as powerful. This is TNT, and he had a ring, and when his ring touched the ring of his kid sidekick, the Dynamo. This TNE, the whatever, and they would touch rings, and it would cause an explosion. This is Starman. I love Starman. I love the 90s version comic book. Just really stuck with me. I got to reread it. I wonder if it's an example of something that just doesn't stand the test of time or doesn't stand the test of time. I really got to check it out. But that's Liberty Bell, and that's Amazing Man. And just great costume. I just love that design. And I know this is a weird thing to say, but with his power, he shouldn't have a cape. How silly is that? His power is whatever he touches, he could become. So if he touches steel, he becomes steel. If he touches wood, he becomes wood. If he touches linoleum, he becomes linoleum. I don't know. That's not a cape power. How stupid is that? That nitpick. And that's Johnny Quick. And this is Iron Monroe. He was the replacement, the stand-in for the Golden Age Superman. So here we have the DC checklist at the time. Outsiders, great comic. Vigilante. This was DC's version of the Punisher. The Watchmen. Oh, geez, yeah, the Watchmen was going strong at this point. Infinity Incorporated, issue number 39. So Infinity Incorporated was winding down. The New Teen Titans 32. Brother Blood, that was a good story. Electric Warrior. I don't even know if I have that comic. It was so immemorial. I think I have it. Legion of Superheroes, The Forgotten Legionnaires, by Paul. If you see Paul Levitz's name on Legion of Superheroes, just buy it. The Question. Yep, I was just talking about Denny O'Neil with the last Spider-Man annual. Yes, he did write this series, so I was correct. The Young All-Stars. I'll talk about the Watchmen Smiley Face button. I got that. Watchmen Limited Edition button collection. I got that. And the Spectre. Oh, I forgot about this series. Doug Bench. I gotta break that out. Jonathan Peter, in my opinion. So this is a in-house news, and this is a crossover with the All-Star Squadron. So the All-Star Squadron was a series of well, why can't I think? The All-Star Squadron was like the Invaders. The Invaders was Marvel's World War II team. The All-Star Squadron was DC's World War II team. And the All-Star Squadron was FDR asked every superhero to team up to help fight, the Axis menace. So the All-Star Squadron is all like the superheroes that were at the time. And I don't think Amazing Man, I think he was created and then retrofitted. I don't think he was actually out at the time. Same with Firebrand. But Johnny Quick, that's Alan Scott, the original Green Lantern. And this is Mechanique. She's like a time-traveling robot, I from the future or something like that. So Mechanique is causing problems. That's Sargon the Sorcerer, the original Manhunter. This is Airwave. Just a silly power to transmit like radio signals, stuff like that. So radio was the cool thing at the time. And this is the Crimson Avenger, who I think like after the Crisis on Infinite Earth became the original costume superhero. These are too small. As Wildcat. I can't tell who that is. Liberty Bell. They ended up getting married. Johnny Quick and Liberty Bell, and his Green Lantern. Alan Scott, and he's just blasting away. Mechanique. There's the Spectre. This is before the Spectre became like all powerful, and of course Mechanique is just making short work of them all. And Amazing Man. What is he? Does he touch the energy and become it? Oh, Amazing Man. I'm wrong. He has magnetic powers. Okay, so he could have a cape. I take back the cape. You got your cape there, Amazing Man. Is the original Adam with the brown shorts, just bad. Dr. Midnight. And Mechanique is blessed everything. Who cares? And then she wakes up. This is Helena whatever. What I can't even remember her name. Some unpronounceable Greek name. And what is she? She's the original Fury, and she's the replacement for Wonder Woman. And let's look at the credits. So we got Roy and Dan Thomas, the writers. And I've said this before, and I'll say it again, that Roy Thomas was a walking encyclopedia of all things comic book. And I'll talk about that after I finish. We got Michael Baer and Brian Murray, the pencilers for pages 6 to 23. So this is their penciling from now on. The original is Vic Aragondesi. He did page 1 to 5, the All-Star Squadron. Malcolm Jones is the third, is the inker. Carl Gafford, colorist. David Weiss, letterer. So, back to Roy Thomas. Roy Thomas was one of the first new hires in comic books in the 60s. He was like a kid. He got hired to write by Stan Lee, and he just loved comics. He knew comics. And he was like the first of the second generation of comic book creators, and he took over. He wrote a lot of stuff for Marvel. He became the Marvel editor in chief. He got replaced. I think he then went to DC, and I think he just goes back and forth. But I get the feeling that DC is his love. I can't back that up. I just get that feeling. And he is just the encyclopedia. Now, my problem with Roy Thomas is he kind of gets caught up in the minutiae that really isn't that important. Just, just say, oh, whatever. There was a paradox, Superman, but whatever. But he has to replace him. And like he even did an Invader story explaining why Submariner used to wear black shorts and now he wears green shorts. Like, that's not important. It was 40 years ago. He got a new pair of shorts. So she's having nightmares, and there's Johnny Quick and Liberty Bell are helping her out. And we got to explain her origin. So who is this hot young thing hanging out with Johnny Quick and his wife? So he changes his costume, and now she's explaining her story that the three Furies gifted her these powers to go and become a superhero. That's her origin. So she's got like a semi-mythological origin, just like Wonder Woman, whom she is replacing. There's her costume. She wears this like golden chainmail costume. It's actually pretty cool. And here we got Neptune Perkins, and he's like, this isn't his first. This is Helena Fury, Helena Cosmatalo. This is her first appearance, but this isn't Neptune Perkins' first appearance, and he's kind of hokey, but he's got like a deficiency in his body that he needs to be in salt water. He can't breathe salt water, he can't communicate with fishes, so he's even less useful than Aquaman. But because he spends so much time in the water, he's a great swimmer. So that's his power. He's a great swimmer. Big deal. And this is Tsunami. Tsunami's pretty tough. She's a Japanese, I think a Japanese American, and she was actually put into like an inter camp. We did that in America. We put Japanese Americans into camps during World War II, and later on she surrenders and goes into the camp. She doesn't use her powers and stuff like that. She goes, if my family's going, I'm going. And they're like, FDR is like, no, you got to go. And she goes, nope. All the Japanese, So it was a good stand. But she has the power to control waters. So she could make like tsunamis, stuff like that. So these two are a natural team. So Neptune Perkins, it seems fitting. Her name is Tsunami. I know it's not. So they're all talking and whatever. So they're getting recruited by Article 10. Article 10 is, here she is. She's going to the I didn't realize it happened already. No, and her powers are activating, blah, 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 and there we go. Now we have Fox. Flying Fox is the Batman stand-up. He's a Canadian First Nations, American Indian, Amarant. I don't know what the politically correct term is anymore. It keeps changing. But he's got powers. He's got supernatural based powers. A flying fox is one of the largest bats. So there you go. And he could fly and he could make like these energy balls. So I don't see how he could be a stand-in for Batman when he doesn't even remotely have the same powers. But there you go. He's vaguely bat based. And here he is spinning around making tornadoes. And then this is TNT and the Dynamite. It's just a horrible name. But they have these rings, and when they touch the rings together, it causes an explosion. Okay, just some of the DC characters leave less. So they touch the rings, and he's got these like explosive abilities for a little bit that he uses to take out the bad guys. So they're assembling the team. There's a car crash, and Iron Monroe, he goes out and saves the people. He jumps, flips over, and Hans, look out! Look at that. That's pretty cool. So he Superman, like he's like when Superman debuted, he wasn't as powerful as he is now. Power creep always happens. Superheroes just get more and more and more powerful. It's just the way it is, and it happened to Superman. But with the original Superman, couldn't fly. He could leap an eighth of a mile. Nothing short of an exploding shell could penetrate his skin. And he was strong, but he wasn't lifting planet strong. So this guy is I'm talking about him because he's my favorite of them all. Then Fury, and then everybody else by a country mile. Like Fury and Iron Monroe are the standout characters of this series, and I'll get more into that later. So there's the car, there's the wreckage, what's going on, and he sees Gudra, the Viking woman, and she's like, look at these guys, I'm here to recruit the dead, so he's gonna fight Gudra. And Gudra, it's pretty cool. I'll explain that. Okay, good. So he runs into Axis America, and what is this? These are like Nazi versions of the Justice League. So this is Ubermensch, that's Superman. This is Gudra, that's Wonder Woman. Seawolf, that's Aquaman. This is Seawolf, the Fallen, beginning, the hands. Why can't I don't know their name. And they're looking to recruit more. Well, the TNT is dead. Farley and Gudra. They don't say their names, so I don't even remember their names. But this is the Batman and Robin ripoff, and this is Axis America is the team that the Young All-Stars are united, formed to fight. Ta-da! And this whole comic is created. Oh, look, here's one of the specials to Amazing Man. I showed you the Amazing Man. I showcased that a couple of days ago. Dr. Fate. This was a good series. This was J.M. DeMatteis, Keith Giffen, and Dave Hunt. So we'll go back to the beginning with Young All-Stars. So it was created to plug holes in continuity. Iron Monroe. His origin is his father created a serum and injected his pregnant mother with the serum to create like the Superman. A great, they before the name Superman, it was a term, the Overman, from Nietzsche. And that is the origin of Philip Wiley's Gladiator, the novel that inspired the idea for Superman. So I just find it funny that Philip Wiley wrote a novel in the 1920s about the Gladiator, the Superman, and then Siegel and Schuster took that novel and copied it and made Superman, and now they need a Superman replacement, so they're going back to the novel and stealing it, homaging it, whatever you want to call, and making Iron Monroe. His real name is Arnold, but they call him Iron for Arn Monroe. And he is really the breakout star character of this comic. Second is Helena, the Fury. And they have a kid, and that becomes the Fury, who was the daughter of the original Golden Age. It's so confusing when I'm saying this and I'm realizing how it sounds. But in Infinity Incorporated, there's a girl named Helena whose code name is Fury, who marries Hector Hall, the daughter of the original Hawkman and Hawkgirl, and mother of the new incarnation of Dream, of Sandman, in the Neil Gaiman's comic. So yeah, I'll talk about that at a future point, but that's odd. I don't know how they're going to talk about all of that. The Sandman show is definitely going to have to remove itself from a lot of this DC superhero roots, but there you go. So Iron Monroe and the Fury that we see introduced in this comic, this girl, they have a child who becomes Fury from Infinity Incorporated. And then it was memory hold. The comic lasted 31 issues. Now, a comic doesn't get canceled at 31. A successful comic doesn't end on 31. They like to go for nice, neat numbers. So it just shows you how bad the comic was selling. It was a confusing mess. It was more concerned with fixing continuity than telling good stories. I stuck with it because I did like it, and I'm also a bit of a weirdo when it comes to collecting. Once I decide to collect a comic, I kind of stay with it, for good or for bad. And that has hurt me in later years when I spent way too much money on bad comics. But at the time, even a bad comic was still good. Quality. You had a great writer. It always had good artists. And I did like the characters. I thought Flying Fox was kind of hokey. And I thought the Dynamite, he was supposed to be the replacement for Robin. He gets both rings, and he's hanging out with Flying Fox. It just doesn't work. For every Iron Monroe, there's a Dynamite, the exploding kid. It just didn't work, and it just got forgotten about. I mean, who is talking about the young All-Stars today? Nobody. Me. I'm the only one. I don't think it's ever been collected, and you will be hard pressed to find this. But it's good. I liked it, especially if you had like comics set in the past. It's got good World War II stuff. It's got good World War II villains. You saw the Axis America. They're more interesting than the superheroes. They're pretty cool. There's some good bad guys in this comic. Wonderful art, but it's just forgettable. But I think I said all I could say. Probably for 20 minutes. I probably talked more about the young All-Stars than Roy Thomas has. So there you go. I don't know what else to say. I hope this video doesn't take 8 hours, because to upload a video for 8 hours to talk about the young All-Stars, whatever. But I liked it. There you go. I'm showcasing a comic that didn't sell, didn't succeed, but that's it. I have good memories of this comic. I really do. I remember sitting in my parents' basement at the time on the old sofa, just reading it and digging it. I knew it was flawed. I knew it wasn't the best, but I still liked it. So there you go. That's really all I could say about it. It was flawed, but I still like it. So that's the young All-Stars. It was the junior companion to the all. Now I can't even think of the name. The All-Star Squadron. Thanks a lot. I appreciate you listening to me rambling. This was just an all over the place mess comic video, but I'm sorry. Thanks a lot. Bye-bye.